This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Red Storm by Frank Luna. Prologue. The giant spacecraft hurtled towards Mars at an astounding speed, marking the first time humans had traveled at such an incredible velocity. Never before had the world seen such a magnificent machine. While space travel had been a reality for decades, Mars 3 represented a radical breakthrough in spacecraft design. At first glance, Mars 3 bore little difference to its predecessors. The cone-shaped lander and crew module were identical to Mars 2, which had made the same journey 2 years earlier with a crew of 8, 6 men and 2 women. Mars 3 carried a similar complement of telescopes and a communications array attached to a massive grid structure that extended 100 yards behind the crew module. This mothership would serve as an orbiting science station after the Mars 3 lander separated and touched down on the surface. Mars 3 and Mars 2 appeared to be identical, save one hidden detail buried deep within the bowels of the propulsion system at the rear of the spacecraft. Alongside the standard hydrogen engines, Mars 3 carried the first matter/antimatter drive ever used in manned spaceflight, and the results were spectacular. This marked the beginning of the age of hyperspace. Just as the jet engine made the world a smaller place, hyperspace travel would shrink the galaxy. In the amount of time it took Columbus to journey to the New World, man could now reach Mars, the new world of the modern age. In less than 3 months, Mars 3 would arrive at its destination on the Grand Arroyo Plains of the Red Planet. That is where the Mars 2 crew was busy finishing the construction of the primary phase of Mars Base, the first permanently manned colony on another planet. Mars 3 carried the hopes and dreams of a world already overcrowded and looking to expand. With a successful mission, the floodgates would open, and once again, adventurers and opportunists would look to the new world for freedom and riches. The nature of man's desire to conquer hadn't changed in 1,000 years. The nature of Mars was about to change forever. Mars 3's hyperspace propulsion system wasn't the only thing that set it apart from its predecessors. This spacecraft carried another secret that would also change the world. It wasn't anything as dynamic and glamorous as a hyperdrive, but it was no less ominous and was decidedly more sinister. Mars 3 began its journey with 8 dead astronauts on board. Chapter 1. Mars Base. Commander Matthew. Mac McTavish stood on the surface of Mars and considered the one certainty he faced. His spacesuit was running out of air. From a ridge overlooking the Grand Arroyo Plains, he gazed down upon Mars Base, the fledgling outpost consisting of 3 distinct structures that stood out against the rocky, rust-colored Martian terrain. He admired Habitat 2, the most recent addition to Mars Base. This massive, elongated dome dominated the site, dwarfing the smaller Habitat 1 and the conical-shaped Mars 2 crew module. Only yesterday the clear, flexible Habitat roof lay deflated on the planet's surface. Overnight, 2 massive pumps had drawn in raw Martian atmosphere and inflated the sealed dome like a giant balloon. Now the geometric shapes of the Habitat panels glistened like a faceted jewel in the late morning sun. Beep! The comm link in Mac's helmet sounded, followed by the voice of his first officer, Lieutenant Michael Travares. Commander, you have less than 15 minutes of oxygen left. You are approaching redline limits. Copy, Lieutenant. Things look fine out here. I'm heading for Habitat 2 to check on Dr. Rachenko's progress. We should be at the airlock in under 10 minutes. That's cutting it pretty close, sir. I'd recommend you double-check to be sure your emergency oxygen bottle is connected just in case. Mac patted the small bottle attached to his suit. It would automatically activate if he ran out of air, supplying about 20 minutes of oxygen. As Mac often told his crew, activation of the emergency bottle could save your life, but would result in 6 months of paperwork and endless inquiries. I'll be fine, Lieutenant. Rachenko and I will see you shortly. Copy, Travares acknowledged from the bridge inside the crew module. Commander, I have an incoming message from Mission Control.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.